Secret hidden beaches on the New South Wales south coast to majestic gem waterfalls in the southern Highlands.
Oh my god, this is the first lookout and I am amazed.
Join us as we continue our travels up further into the Blue Mountains and beyond to reveal some amazing off-road tracks and special cooking recipes to finish it off.
Alright guys, welcome back to another cracking episode of Nomads and Sam. And for those that are just tuning into our YouTube channel, I'm Sam.
And I'm Maddie.
And we showcase all of our travelling and touring trips that we do around Australia, plus all the little tips and review videos that we tag in as well. Now, for this trip, as you can see, we are here at the Oberon-Colong Historic Stock Route, but that is not where this episode starts. We're going to be starting all the way down in Jervis Bay at the national parks down there and showing you all of the beaches and secret little spots that you can visit.
Then we'll head west inland to the Morton National Park where we'll check out some secret waterfalls, viewpoints and some beautiful scenic drives. Then we'll head up to north and we'll go and do this awesome forward drive track, and then we'll head up north again and we'll go check out Kanangra Boyd National Park, and hopefully there'll be some more waterfalls, scenic views and some awesome campsites as well to check out.
Absolutely, and there is a secret spot that you can get an amazing photo on all the cliffs there. But for now, let's get into it,
crack in.
Rightio, so starting off the trip with a little bit more of a luxurious style, we popped down to the coast of New South Wales to the Jervis Bay National Parks to check out the two best areas of these two parks. The top one being the Beecroft Peninsula, which is only open on weekends and during school holidays throughout the week. And this must be booked in advance. We've done this personally, and this is the most sought out based area on the beautiful secluded beaches and so many less people due to the small number of people allowed to camp in the area. So we made our way down to the southern area known as the Baduri National Park, booked our campsite, which this means that you don't have to pay for park entry, and made our way to the most eastern point of the park.
Hey Samuel, I heard you need to beware of this beach. Oh god, might have been.
How blue is it? It looks so good.
And we didn't even bring our bloody swimmers down.
Stitch up.
I'm going to go back and get my swimmers.
I think so.
Now we're in business.
Back in swimmers.
How's your show looking? Yeah, what did you find?
It's like a skull of something, but I don't know what. It's got like a palette.
It's busy. Yeah, no thanks.
Well,
Well, I tell you what, Jervis Bay and this national park is absolutely supplying the goods. We've just been down at a spot called Caves Beach, and it's absolutely phenomenal down there. We originally came here, we're just going to take a couple photos just down on the beach, but we've been swimming for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
The beach is so beautiful. The sand is so flat and so soft, and great waves if you want to surf or boogie board.
Yeah, so I didn't realise also there's a campground here, but you do have to walk about 700 metres with all your camp gear to get down to the spot here. I'll quickly drop in on the Wiki Camps as to how many places there are to be able to get a spot down here. There'd only be about 10 people staying out of all the campsites, so that's a hot tip that I'll throw in there. The plans for the rest of the day, because it's about 5 o'clock now, we're going to head to camp over to a place called Green Patch. Alrighty, so I sort of just wanted to bump in here and tell you guys a little bit of a quick story as to how this whole Jervis Bay thing is going on at the moment. So originally the plan was to stay a night over here at the, I think it's pronounced the Baduri National Park, and then over at the Beecroft Peninsula. We've got into town, we've gone to one of the national parks because there wasn't much information online as to what was open. We went to the national park office and they said they had a massive storm last week and they got like a year's worth of rain in 3 days. They said 600 mils or whatever it was. So anyways, plans have changed and we're staying a night here in the Baduri National Park, as I said, just at the Green Patch campground. We have been to the other side though before at the Beecroft Peninsula, and I tell you what, that place is absolutely amazing.
So pretty. So we've been to the Beecroft National Park before, so we've stayed at a place called Honeymoon Bay, which is just beyond beautiful, so nice, so calm, and it's got its own little cove, except the only downfall with that is it's only open on Mondays, my mistake, Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays, or on public holidays, or on school holidays it's open the whole time.
And it's like really competitive as well to get over there, so you do need to book like about a week or two in advance, and then you've pretty much got no chance during the Christmas New Year's period, because I'm pretty sure there's a ballot that goes out and people put their name into that, and then it's just whoever gets it, and that's done like a year prior as well. So we're heading off to the campground now. When we get there we'll show you around, because there's a whole other side to this national park. That side is, I think it's the southern end of that national park, and the beaches there are phenomenal. They're really hidden away from the wind, really white sand, and it's
bright blue water.
And it's definitely the better spot on this side of the national park if you don't get to make your way over to the Beecroft Peninsula. So this is the entrance to the campground. Check out how cool this is. That's actually pretty cool. That is really, really cool, really unique. So there are two camp zones here split up into a walk-in campsite area and then your normal campsites where you can park in with your car and your tent. The second area we're in should be noted to be nestled in the forest, which is really nice listening to the wildlife, but have quite small sites. What are you calling this one, Mads?
SS, simple salmon. So it's just got a bit of garlic, soy, a little bit of maple and some nice grilled salmon.
I know. I'm going to give you a little quick taste test. Look at that. She looks after me, doesn't she? That's really hot. That is so yum. Perfect. All right, well, Mads and I, we're going to leave you there for the night. We have had a cracking day so far. Obviously, with a couple things closed, we sort of had to adapt and head over to Caves Beach and go over to that other beach called the Berowra Beach. I still can't pronounce it, but other than that, it was an absolute cracker of a day.
So tomorrow we're going to head up to the Morton National Park where we'll do some forward driving tracks, exploring, and some waterfalls.
Yeah, and tomorrow is going to be like 30 degrees, absolutely no wind, so we'll crack into it.
Super keen.
So this is where the real fun and adventure starts, as today we make our way up into the mountains.
All right, so good morning. Maddie and I left the Green Patch campsite this morning around 8:30. We didn't get up till 7:30. We had a bit of a lazy one, so we've sort of made our way to the top of the national park to see what the go is up here.
So on the way you can check out Bristol Beach, and then you've also got a hole in the wall, which is an awesome rock formation where it's cool to take photos and just check it out. But we're heading over to Murray Beach at the moment to see some awesome viewpoints, so super keen to see that. And then later on today, heading to the Fitzroy Falls.
Yeah, so we'll make our way up to the Morton National Park and start sort of getting out of the areas where there's heaps of people at the moment, because there's a lot of tourist attractions up here and there's a lot of people around. We sort of want to get away from that. All right, so Mads and I, we've just both arrived at the Fitzroy Waterfall Information Centre, because it's the National Park Centre as well, where you can get all your information for national parks. And we've walked in there, and basically we were talking to the National Parks guide about some of the tracks that we're going to do, and he pulls out this map to the entrance of this side, right? And he goes, I don't know if you can see on camera there, he goes, yep, that's closed, all the gates that you can see there, they are all locked. And I was like, oh, okay, well, whereabouts can we go that's sort of off-road and get away from people? And he says to me, oh, most of the tracks are all closed. So that is really, really annoying. That is such a big feature that Mads and I are sort of having a problem when we're getting around these New South Wales national parks, is how much it goes. But anyways, we'll move on from that. We'll adapt and overcome. So we've just come from Fitzroy Waterfall. It's a 150 metre walk just down to view the waterfall. It's an 80 metre waterfall. And then you can do another 1.4 kilometre return walk to the Twin Falls. And if you're a little cheeky, hop the fence, you can get a really nice photo and video of you looking over the area.
So where are we off to next? Well, we're going to head off to Belmore Falls where we'll have some lunch, and then we'll head off to Carrington Falls where you can have a bit of a swim, and there's beautiful sandstone everywhere as well. So
yeah, it is so hot at the moment. It's like 30 degrees.
After that track, I think I don't mind a little cheeky little swim. Once all that's finished, we're going to head down to Kanangra campsite, which is along the Kangaroo River, which is apparently quite nice, and you can do some swimming there as well. And apparently little wombats come at night, so I'll be pretty keen to see that.
That's right. And then between then and there, we might do a little exploration and go check out this track that goes right through the middle of the Morton National Park and see if that's actually open, because the bloke said that it could possibly be open, but he was unsure.
Hopefully there'll be a couple of scenic views at least along the way. The rainforest here is just so gorgeous.
Cool, so let's head off.
How wicked is this place here? Carrington Falls. Well, I tell you what, that spot, that blew me away, hey.
So refreshing as well. And actually in some spots you could stand up in the water.
Yeah, it was so good, and then you can go right underneath the waterfall. And it's pretty unique because there's a lot of waterfalls obviously that you can stand under, but you can sort of just poke your head under because then it hurts too much. But that one you could stay right under the entire time.
Free shower.
How good's that?
Making our way into the heart of the Morton National Park, we come across some amazing and scenic views. But however, upon the tracks we find out how many things are actually closed and how many places we cannot access.
Locked gate, mate, I tell ya. This has been nothing but trouble this entire trip trying to get into this Morton National Park. It's ridiculous.
So we make our way to an amazing campsite by the river and reassess for tomorrow's guaranteed off-road adventure.
Rightio, so Maddie and I have just arrived at a little campground called the Bindila Reserve. It's right between the Morton National Park and the Kangaroo Valley. As you sort of saw, we've had a few issues all day of trying to get access from the northern point of the Morton National Park. So on the way to the Kanangra Boyd National Park, or however you say it, we're going to do some exploring down the southern end and see if we can hit some more four-wheel drive tracks on there at the moment. So what are you cooking at the moment, Mads?
Oh, I'm just doing something simple. So I'm just doing a little bit of mac and cheese and chicken satay, maybe some veggies on the side.
Yum.
Just got to keep it easy tonight.
And how's the view?
Breathtaking.
So the next morning, we were so bloody excited to hit the tracks. We quickly packed up the rooftop tent, the awning, smashed down a coffee with our new coffee machine, and headed off.
So good morning, Maddie and I have just driven 2.5 hours from the campsite that we were at last night, and we've finally rocked up to the four-wheel drive track that we're wanting to do. It's called the Oberon-Colong Historic Stop Route, and apparently it's about an hour to an hour and a half drive. And at the moment, Maddie's just doing a bit of an air down like we usually do.
So I'm just going down to 25 PSI, just because I particularly don't really want to have a flat on this road and we don't know what the ground's like, so better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, we're a bit of a sucker for always airing down our tyres wherever we go, because it's just one of those things that makes the ride a lot softer, and there's less chance of popping your tyre, obviously, because you're softening that wheelbase as well, so when you go over rocks and stuff like that. But that's it for now. We're going to have a crack down this track, have some lunch down there, and see how that goes. So for those that don't know, this track is just on the outskirts of the Blue Mountains, just before you head into the Kanangra Boyd National Park, or however you say it. And we've come from the Morton National Park, as you saw just before, and we couldn't really find an entrance point into there. That's why we found this full drive track here, and we're just going to explore it before we head over to those wonderful cliffs and walls that you can get at the Kanangra Boyd National Park.
Right, so Mads and I are about halfway along the track. We just want to give you a little bit of quick information about the track itself, and as well as what the track conditions are like at the moment. So from where that sign was, where I just showed you, it's about 60 kilometres one way all the way in. And so far, it's basically just been two-wheel drive access the whole way, hey?
Yeah, it has. But I do recommend still letting your PSI down. It just does make it a lot more of a comfortable ride. But the viewpoints are amazing. We can see the Blue Mountains all across the ridges.
Yeah, like you're literally driving up and down the hills. You're going up pretty steep ascents and descents. So whilst it is two-wheel drive access, I definitely have a four-wheel drive. And we have had to put in four high just a couple of times as more of a safety factor when we're going up those hill climbs. And there's a couple quite dry creek beds as well that I've noticed along the way. And some of them have water, and I don't think they would ever get too deep even after a lot of rain. And I'd say that this is still pretty two-wheel drive access during the rain.
So they have fixed up the road a lot. Before there were a lot of potholes, I think back in Feb with all the rainfall. But they've since done it up, so it's a lot more better. Not as many potholes. Few fallen trees, but you get that with most four-wheel drive tracks. There's an old silver mining village apparently, which you can camp out, but it's turned into like a little historical site now, which you can go and visit.
Yeah, so apparently it's just like a little town of some sort. They've just basically, as Maddie just said, it's turned into a historical site, and you can just walk in there, check out the old stores and villages that they used to chill at.
So once you head to the end of the stock route and chuck a left, you'll head to Urandary State Forest, where you can come and visit this old silver mining town. Now it's private, so if you want to camp, it's definitely worth to book one of the cabins, or there's the sites over here as well. Toilets are included, but you do need to bring your own food and water.
Right, so as you can see, Maddie and I have just rocked up to a really beautiful campsite here in the Kanangra Boyd National Park, or however you said it. We've arrived a little bit late, so we didn't actually get around to doing all the things in the national park. And we've come to this this campsite here called the Boyd River National Park. It's just one of the main campgrounds here in the park itself. So how do you think our day went today, Mads?
Look, good, but we did not plan timings well. We didn't realise how long that forward driving truck would actually take.
I know, like it was a 2.5 hour drive from where we were last night, just to the start of that track, and then even though I only said 60 kilometres, it took us an hour and a half to do because it is dirt road, and even though there wasn't any gnarly four-wheel driving, you're wearing four high-ups on it, going up and down steep hills, amazing views on the ridges.
Yeah, and I think they say it usually does take 2 hours there and then another 2 hours back. So tomorrow we'll be actually doing the Kanangra Boyd
National Park.
National Park waterfalls and walks tomorrow, and hopefully seeing the Kanangra Boyd National Park. It's like a wall or a mountain, apparently.
Oh, the wall, the cliffs, the
cliffs. It's just amazing views. So super keen to see those tomorrow. So I think early brekkie and get up and do a good hike.
Absolutely. So we'll catch you in the morning and we show you some epic views, so you can take some of those picturesque Instagram photos that we will probably fail at because we just can't take photos to save our lives.
Welcome to another Nana Mad's cooking segment. Today we're at the Kanangra Boyd National Park, and how amazing is the view behind me? So today I'm going to share with you one of my own secret recipes, which is my sweet chili rissoles with a side of beautiful feta and cranberry salad and some garlic corn. So let's get into it. For the rissoles, I start with 1/2 cup of flour. Plain flour will do. You don't need any other kind of special flour. If you do have self-raising, that's also okay. So I'm just going to chuck in half a cup of flour, just like that. And what that does is it thickens up the mixture of the rissoles. Then I'm going to get my sweet chili as promised, and I'm just going to put in 1/3 of sweet chili into that. The reasoning being is it gives it its own taste and own flavour, but it also thickens up the mixture as well. Then I get my garlic crush, pop in the garlic, and then I'm going to put it into the mixture. Once that's done, I'll also add in 2 eggs from our own chickens back at home, which is so exciting that we get to use our own resources. Add those in, and it just helps bind the mixture a bit more. I'm also going to add in half a cup of breadcrumbs, and that helps give it the crunch when it burns on the pan a little bit. So I'm going to just get my beef mince. You can use lamb mince or pork mince, it doesn't really matter. Whatever kind of rissole that you would prefer, totally up to you. Then I'm just going to put in the mince in here, and I'm going to pretty much play a bit of Play-Doh and mush it all up together. Now I'll call for one of my helpers to help me because my hands are a bit filthy. Hello, helper.
Hello.
Do you mind popping a bit of oil in the pan for me and then switching it on?
No worries.
Thank you. Yep, that should be enough. Now you just roll them up into little balls or your little rissole shapes. Then just pop them on the pot. Okay, now you'll just cook them till they're brown. Sometimes it's about 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Depends how quickly and high you turn up your fry pan. Don't recommend doing that though, as you will burn your rissoles. Now we'll make up the salad. So I'll chuck in some baby spinach leaves from our own garden as well, providing again. Some red onion, sprinkle them in. Some cucumber, sprinkle that in as well. And then some feta as well. So pop that in. Now sprinkle in a couple of cranberries, and that will add that sweetness with the feta. Now I'll do up the other 2 garlic to go with the sweet corn. Now with the sweet corn as well, mix it up with a bit of butter. It will melt and combine together and you'll have beautiful buttery garlic corn. What I actually recommend to make my own garlic butter, I'll put my butter in a plastic bag and I'll let it get back to room temperature. Open the bag and I'll actually mush my garlic in there. And the reasoning being is because then I can do this and actually hand mush all my butter to combine it all. Now I'm just going to partially serve up the rissoles and the salad, and why I do that, I'll get the corn on. As you can see, I just scrape it out of the bag, almost like icing, and then I put it into the pan, and I can already smell the garlic and the butter combining. I'm going to open up my corn, pop the corn in. Now, don't have to give the corn long to cook, but enough just to roll it and soak it in that butter. All right, 4 minutes later, we're ready to serve them up now. Look how juicy they look. Hey Samuel, come try this.
This tart never gets old, does it?
I know. Yeah, you've got to get your mouth into this one. It's a sweet chili rissoles.
Yum.
You love these, don't you?
Oh, those are actually perfectly cooked.
I know.
What's the black on top?
That is extra crisp.
You've done really, really well,
Have
Madison.
a bite of this one. You love your garlic. Good? Good crunch.
Yeah, now I'm not just saying this because we're on camera. I'm very
I'm your
fussy.
wife.
And because you're my wife.
Well, I think that's another successful Nana Matt's Kitchen.
So we wake up on the final day as excited as ever to go look at the Kanangra Boyd cliffs that have been closed for a few years due to the bushfires. So Mads and I have just woken up pretty early this morning at around 6:30, thrown on some coffee, had a couple quick hard-boiled eggs, packed up and made our way along the fire trail, which is two-wheel drive access to the Kanangra Walls Walk.
So it's 30 minutes for just heading out to the lookout, return included. If you want to go and check out the waterfalls, that's another hour. They say it's about a 1.2k walk, but that's including return. Now, if you want to really stretch out, there's a 1 to 3 hour walk to the actual walls. And I think I have seen some photos of people climb up to the top.
Yes, we are definitely going there.
But we just said we'll see how we go at each point, just to see what the distance is, just because it is already quite warm and it's only about 7 a.m. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, we always pack a sat phone with us on our hikes, just for a safety precaution.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of an overkill, but it's just something that we like to do when we're sort of touring by ourselves and we don't know anyone for like a good 10-15 hours away. So that's just our little thing we do.
Anyway, we'll get cracking on. Oh my god, this is the first lookout and I am amazed.
This is absolutely amazing. So this is the Kangaroo walls just here, and it's only a couple 100 meters from the bloody car park. God, it's phenomenal.
You can get some stunning shots just so close up.
Yep, this is on par as to sort of what I've been wanting to see for a few years now, so I'm pretty impressed, hey? Check it out. Are you ready for this view?
I'm ready.
This is the peak point to look out over the cliffs when you do this plateau walk. I'm actually a little bit nervous to get the edge because that drops right off, but check it out. It just drops off there, and they're those cliffs that we were looking at before, the big flat. How close do we get, mates?
I'm smart, I'm not dumb.
What are your thoughts? I'm actually shaking a little bit.
Breathtaking, like, yeah, you feel a bit in your knees when you're really close to the edge.
I'm not getting the GoPro over, but it just drops off right there. But, mate.
Disappointing that so many of New South Wales forward drive tracks are closed in these national parks. When plan A and plan B doesn't work, then hopefully your plan C does.
Yeah, it is so vital that now when we're coming up into these areas that we actually need a plan A, B and C, because there's so many tracks that are closed and it's really disappointing. But enough of that for now. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode of us heading all the way down from Jervis Bay and heading up into these hills in the southern Highlands and up to the corner of the Blue Mountains, enjoying the waterfalls, some of the tamer full drive tracks that we've definitely done in our time. But next episode, we are definitely going to be back and we're going to be doing the Victorian high country and really cracking into some awesome river crossings and actual full drive tracks. One of them include river crossings that have over 30 of them, and then some of the iconic tracks of possibly Blue Rag and then up to Billy Goats. So stay around, stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.